That's right. That's right. So it's good to be on with you. Good to be on with my man, Ricky.
Well, let's see. Let's see. It only takes a minute to change your life. Is the first book. The
Yes.
second book was a setback is a setup for a comeback.
Yes, sir.
Then the next book was turning setbacks into greenbacks, which I love that title.
Yes,
So
sir.
I guess we got some greenbacks coming. And then the next
Greenback.
book, that's right,
Hmm.
turning setbacks into greenbacks. And then this book, the title is Attitude of Excellence, the next book,
Right.
which is right on time because you have to have an attitude of excellence if you want to succeed, especially doing what we're dealing with right now.
Absolutely.
And then of course the last book was Make Love, Make Love Last, the love book with you and D Jolly.
Yes, sir. Sir. Yes, sir. So we're very grateful. We got all of the books, and we are now wanting to help people through this tough time. And man, you know, I just want to applaud all the healthcare workers in New York City who have done such a great job all over the country. But man, New York, the New York healthcare workers and the firemen and the police and the grocery store workers and the bus drivers and the train engineers, man, just bravo, you're the heroes. Time to help them to not just to.
Man,
All
let's
right,
get
well,
to the
let me tell
gravy.
you, we're in the middle, and it impacted our lives and disrupted our lives, lost their jobs. But we came to be called by Ford Motor Company in 2008, and
Yeah, Ricky's
remember,
doing a broadcast with this guy.
they only wanted the big three automakers to be able to reject a government bailout. So we went from losing a million, they went from losing millions to making billions. Now, here's the thing, Ricky, that it was a crisis. We've been through crisis before. Here is what I want people to hear. Crisis is a unique word. Interest has dual meaning. It means great danger, but at the same time, great opportunity. So there's some
Mhm.
opportunities that we must be mindful of in the danger. There's opportunities if we look for them
Mhm.
with you and with your listeners. Number one, don't panic. Whatever you do, taken from the Greek word to choke to your brain, and you cannot think clearly. And if you cannot think clearly, you cannot make wise decisions. And
Right.
so, in the midst of a challenge, when you panic, you've got to make a decision. You panic, and you end up making poor decisions. 1929, stock market crash. People panicked. Some jumped off of bridges. Some took guns and blew out their brains, not realizing the market would come back bigger and better than ever. This
Wow, look at that.
too shall pass. This too shall pass. Don't panic. Think your way through this. Stay calm and think clearly. Number two,
Right.
don't willingly participate. Don't willingly participate. There's an old saying, if you're not part of the solution, you're automatically part of the problem. And so, what we want you everybody to be is part of the solution. That means don't be part of the problem by going around where there are people or going around in lots of crowds of people. Don't get too close. Social distance. Put on a mask. Wash your hands. Don't get sick if all you can. Do everything you can to not get sick by doing the things they tell you to do that will keep you healthy. And
Mhm.
I just got a text from one of my relatives, and they said, you'll appreciate this, Ricky, because you know, use what's in your hand. I'll never forget Ricky Young. But here's some things. When the flood arrived, where were Noah and his family? They were at home. When the three angels visited Abraham, where was he? He was at home. When the two angels went to Sodom and Gomorrah, where was Lot? He was at home. When the angels killed the firstborn in Egypt, where were the Israelites? They were at home. When the apostle of Jesus saw that he received the Holy Spirit, where were they? At home. Where was Paul when he visited Ananias? When he was visited by Ananias, he was at home. Where was Rahab when the walls of Jericho fell? At home. And now where should we all stay as this coronavirus tries to attack us? To protect ourselves, stay at home. This time, time to stay at home. So don't participate. Don't willingly participate. But the other part of that is don't commiserate. This is an important one, Ricky, that don't commiserate. We must make a point not to get overwhelmed by the gloom and doom. How do you do that? By limiting your television news time. Limiting the bad news. I only do about 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes or so in the evening, and that's it. I don't have it on 24/7 because I know that I can only handle so much. Look, Ricky, if I took a sponge and put it in a bucket of water, a sponge's job is to soak up water. But if I put it in a bucket of water, it becomes overwhelmed. It cannot do what it was designed to do. And therefore, it becomes ineffective. The same is true for people. Everybody who's listening, designed, determined, created to do something of significance with their life. But if you're overwhelmed with bad news, it just oversaturates you. It overtakes you, and you can't do what you were designed and born and created to do.
So that time that you are not looking at the news, what are you doing with the rest of your time?
Oh man, look here. That's what I'm about to tell you. You're being productive. Okay, you got to be productive. What you doing right now? Ricky Young, what you doing? A great example. You're creating content on your radio show. You're not sitting by giving up. You're calling. You reached out to me. You said, I'm reaching out to my friends who I know care about people, who I know are trying to help people. I'm reaching out because I want to be in the solution and not the problem. So don't gloom and doom. While that time, turn off TV, do something. That's the next fourth one. Don't stop thinking about the power and the possibilities of tomorrow. Now, when you're in a crisis moment, you got to put one eye on that situation you're in. You got to put some energy to whatever you're in. One eye go to that situation, but one eye always stays on the big vision, the big goal, the big dream, what you're really trying to win in the long term. Now, if you ever look at a golf tournament, Tiger Woods playing golf, and he hits a shot and it goes off. Oh, he hit a bad one, and it goes off into the rough or goes into a sand trap. Now, he doesn't go crazy and start just swinging at it. He stops. He thinks about it. And his first goal right then, one eye on that problem, is to get it out of that sand trap, get it out of the rough, and get it over to the green or the fairway so he can get back in the game. And then he focuses again on winning the tournament. So I'm saying to you, right now, one eye on this problem, but one eye on your goal, your dreams, where you're going. Number 5. Now, don't panic. Don't willingly participate. Don't commiserate. Don't let your pride. I missed one. Don't let your pride poison your prosperity. That's a big one. Don't let your pride poison your prosperity. Now, what does that mean? That means that during this time, you might have to do some stuff that you don't typically like to do, want to do, but you can do. A friend of mine who was one of my mentors when I was getting in business, his name was Duke Green, taught me about this lesson. He had built a IT company back in the late 60s, early 70s. That was one of the first big African-American owned IT companies called IBS. And he had hired the best and the brightest from Howard University at Hampton and Morgan State, and the best IT people are coming out of school. He wanted the brightest. And he built this company. But then in the early 70s, mid to early 70s, there was a recession. There was a gas embargo. Things got tight. So what he did every day during that recession, he'd go in the job every day and work from 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening. And then from 8 o'clock at night to 3 a.m., he worked as a truck driver, driving a trash truck. He said, I drove a trash truck when I was in college, and I can do it now. And he did it for a year because he did not want to fired not one of his people. So he took his CEO salary and paid his
Wow.
people. He paid his people with his CEO salary, and he lived on the trash truck money.
Wow.
He did that for a year till the economy got better, and then he went back to just being a CEO, kept all his employees. Some years later, he was able to sell his business for $500 million because he didn't have to fire anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let your pride poison your prosperity.
Yeah. Now, Willie, let me ask you, when you were growing up, young man, you grew up in the D.C. area?
I did.
Did you realize that you were going to have such an amazing life? Did you realize all these things that you've done and doing?
I had a premonition that I would do something that would impact people. I thought it was going to be in the music business. I had no idea it was going to be, no even inclination. Speaking, writing books, television, radio, traveling around the world with Les Brown, Gladys Knight, having General Colin Powell as a friend and others. Had no idea, because I just thought I would just be out there singing. And, you know, I'm very grateful that God has blessed me with the different gifts, but I had to work on them. You know, Michael Jordan said that talent is God-given. Ability takes work on your part. Mm-hmm. God gives you the talent, but you must do the work to craft it, to develop it, to sharpen it. So I had to work on my singing as a musician and on my speaking. When I first started speaking, I couldn't hardly put one word behind the other with any coherence, but I kept working on it. And I kept working on it. So I'm encouraging everybody. In fact, I want to give everybody a gift. First of all, what changed my thinking was some books and some resources that changed my thinking. And if you'll go to my new website, winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com, I've got all my websites on one page. You got my business website, my faith-based website, my marriage website, my youth website. We got my new song, We'll Get Through This, that came out on music video. It's there. Lots of stuff. You can actually go into the business site and you can sign up for the newsletter where you can get some access to stay connected to me. Even some of my resources. If you can go there, you can get some of my resources. But main thing, winwithwillie.com. Now, I got a few more, and I'm going to give you, and then you can have anybody can ask me anything. I told you, don't panic, don't willingly participate, don't commiserate, don't let your pride poison your prosperity, don't stop thinking about the power and possibilities of tomorrow. The next one is be proactive. Now's the time to take action. Don't get despondent and sitting and watching TV all day. Take action. Be proactive. That means don't wait for your ship to come to you. Go swim to it. Start getting up and doing something toward your goals and dreams. Write a list every day of things you can do to help you reach your goals. Even in this pandemic, there's stuff you could be doing. So be proactive. Then be creative. This song I've got put out, I had to use creativity because we were isolated. I found the song on a CD. I'd recorded the song a long time ago, but I've never done a music video, Ricky. I've done speaking videos, but when I was in the music business, there was no such thing as a music video. So I did my own music video in my home using my iPhone and my iPad. Watch it. It's dynamite. Wow. People are calling, saying they're in tears from around the world. I love that video. So be creative. Last one, Ricky, be prayerful. Now, Ricky, here's the key. That's actually number one. Pray and ask God to bless you and your family, put a hedge around you. But I put it at number 7 for a reason, Ricky, because far too many people, they will pray and do nothing else. I had a lady come up to me one day and said to me, she said, I listened to you on the radio and I love your show and I love your book. I read one of your books. I need a job. I said, okay, what are you doing to get a job? She said, I prayed about it. I said, that's good. What else? She said, that's all.
Wow.
Look, faith without works is dead. Grandma used to say to me, when you pray, after you finish praying, move your feet. Okay? There's a Chinese proverb that says, he who waits for a roasted barbecued duck to fly into his mouth waits a long time.
So
It might come eventually. Go ahead, Ricky.
Somebody might say to you, well, you're successful, you've had success. If success is so easy, why do so many people struggle to achieve that thing called success?
First of all, it's not easy. Okay? It's simple. It's simple. If you do these things, it will happen with diligence. But it ain't easy. Oh no, it's not easy. It's not easy having people slam the door in your face. But if you keep knocking and keep knocking and keep knocking, eventually somebody will do business with you. There's a statistical analysis that says it takes 17 no's before you get your first yes. Most people are not willing to do the 17 no's. They, after the first, second, third no, they give up. It's simple. You just got to keep going. You got to keep asking. Scripture says, ask, and you shall receive. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door will be opened unto you. Notice it says if you take this action and you do it enough, you'll get the blessing. The problem is most people don't get the blessing because they don't ask, they don't seek, they don't knock, or they give up way too early. So it's simple. You can't give up. You got to stay positive. It's hard, though. It's hard.
And is it also important to know what you want? Because I see a lot of people who don't really know what they want. See, I want success, but what is success? And they can't tell you.
Yes. Yes, the answer to that is that many people are running around, running a race, but they don't know where they're going. So they're just running. But the successful have a clear goal, have a clear focus, and they know what they want. Now, the problem with that is, Ricky, that most people don't have written goals. Scripture says, write the vision, make it plain, that he that reads it may run the race. But most people don't have written goals. They on the first of the year, they have their resolutions, and that's it. But by the 15th of January, 20th of January, they done forgot that resolution. And then they're going through life like a, just bouncing around. But those who have a clear goal are focused on that. And the reason most people don't have goals is because it's hard work to write goals. It's hard cognitive work. Or, one, they don't want to do the work. Or two, they don't know how to do it. Or three, they don't have a mentor or coach to help them. So I want to help somebody right now. At the beginning of this year, Ricky, I did a goal-setting seminar. And this time, for the first time ever, I did it virtually. So people in Africa who read my books, in South America, and Australia, and China who read my books and want access to me could join in. And people joined in from around the world. And it was by far the best goal-setting seminar I've ever done. Oh, my God, it was so powerful and so impactful. And if you will go, your viewers and listeners and people will go to williejolly.com/win, WIN. I want to help people win and to help them get goals that are winning goals. So if you go to williejolly.com/win, they can purchase that goal setting seminar right there, do it with their family. Perfect time while we're, quarantined. Go through that seminar. It's about 4 hours. Go through the steps, through the programs, through the exercises, so that we could do what you just told them. Help them know what they want so they can get it quicker.
Did you sure you didn't know we was going to be locked down in our apartments like this? That's why you did that. Did you know?
I wish I was such a fortune teller. I tell you, I'd be super wealthy by then. 'Cause I would have called all the races at every place that's going to win, every team. But no, I didn't know. All I knew was this: that life is challenging. Here's one more thing, Ricky. I want you to know that we saw 9/11. We saw 2008. We're now in the coronavirus crisis. Here's the lesson. Every decade, there's going to be a crisis.
Hmm.
So we might as well prepare for the next one while we're in this one. You know, one of my books, I write about the ant. The ant is an amazing creature because the ant works all summer preparing for the winter.
I think that
It's
might be the
put
first book. It
Yes,
only
I
takes
think
a
that was
minute to
only takes
change
a
your
minute to
life.
change your life. Yep.
Yeah.
The ant prepares for the winter all summer long. And so
Wow.
we in a, we got to when we get out of this, I want us to start preparing better for the next crisis because one is going
Hmm.
to come. That is, if you live long enough, you're going to see one. So prepare for it. Put your stuff away. Put some savings away. Make sure you have a rainy day fund because there will be one coming. And so those who are the wise will prepare for it.
Okay. So you and I are in agreement that Willie Jolly has had an amazing life. Me looking from the outside and you living it. So let's say someone decides, hey, I want to do a movie about your life, Willie Jolly. What's the title going to be?
A setback is a setup for a comeback. That's easy. It's a setback is a setup for a comeback. That's the title.
Mhm. Now, what gave you the insight to like to know how to be around great people? I'll give you an example. I go to Philadelphia. They're having this National Speakers Association conference. So I go to Philly. I go into the hotel. I walk around the corridor there, the elevator corridor. Who do I see? Harvey McKay having a conversation with Willie Jolly. Now that's pretty deep to me. That
Yes.
blows my mind because you're talking to this guy Harvey McKay, who's a master at what he does. Here you are having a one-on-one conversation with this man. I walk up and see this. Can you break that down, Willie Jolly?
Man, you're so kind. First of all, Harvey's a dear friend of mine, and Les Brown and Zig Ziglar was a friend. And here's the lesson. The lesson is that there are two ways to get to a goal: mentors and mistakes. Both both would get you there. One just gets you there with less headaches, heartaches, and knots upside your head. So I made a decision to get good mentors, and those mentors have
Wow.
served me well over the years. Those mentors
Wow.
have changed my life. And so I recommend you get good mentors and you hang out with them, you learn from them. Great people walk among great people, and I learned that if I was going to be what I wanted to be and be greater, I had to start hanging around with greater people and learning from them. Now, sometimes the mentors are people who you can sit, and talk with, Harvey and Les and so forth. But sometimes the mentors are people who you will access from afar, okay? Like Benjamin Mays. Dr. Benjamin Mays was Martin Luther King Jr.'s mentor. By the
Right.
time I came to consciousness, he had already died. But I read every
Uh-huh.
book he had. I read every book he had. I
Wow.
I listened to every audio I could find of him, and I let him teach me from his books and from his audios. Norman
Wow.
Vincent Peale, Napoleon Hill. I could go down the list of people who were my mentors. So,
Uh-huh.
mentors and mistakes. I'm trying to get with mentors.
That sounds like another book title.
Come on now.
Sounds like another book title. You come up with these good title names, so I think that's one that might sell pretty good. I would buy it. Mentors and mistakes. And most people go with the mistake side. The average
That's
person.
right.
Here, you know
That's
what?
exactly right.
I got a nice question for you.
Sure.
You ever heard of this guy? He plays basketball. Plays for Los Angeles Lakers. You might not have heard of him. Just go by the name of LeBron James.
I have heard his name somewhere.
So I heard that this guy invests every year 1.5 $5 million in his training, conditioning, nutrition, food, coaches, anything to make him be a better human being and a better basketball player. 1.5 million. What's your comment, Willie Johnny?
Man, I think that's why he's a great basketball player. Because he was willing to get coaches, okay, and invest in coaches. Now, the coaches cannot do what he can do, okay? But the coaches can help him to become better. Look, Tiger Woods had a coach who never won the Masters. Michael Jordan had a coach who never won an NBA championship. But they can watch, help, develop you to become better at what you do. That's why now I've got people who are calling me because of during this time of the year, I'm busy on the road, I'm traveling. But now, because of the coronavirus crisis, I can't travel. I'm not going anywhere. So I'm helping people. I'm coaching them by phone. So people are saying, I want your coaching. And they're calling and hiring me to coach them and help them with their business.
Wow.
And so you know what? The great ones get coaches. I've had coaches. I've had mentors. All the above, because I want to be better.
Okay. So you mentioned some of the great ones earlier. The Norman Vincent Peales, the Napoleon Hills, the Zig Ziglar. You didn't mention Jim Rohn though. Why you didn't mention Jim Rohn?
Jim Rohn was a mentor, but I didn't know him I didn't really know him. I met him once at an NSA, but I didn't know him like I knew all the others. I sat with them. I know them.
Okay.
Jim Rohn had a great impact, but the rest of them either are or were my friends. Zig was my friend. Les Brown. Thanksgiving this year, I was with Les Brown at his home, and we had a great time. W. Mitchell, Brian Tracy, as you said, John Maxwell. Harvey McKay. They are my friends. Nido Kubain. I can call them on the phone and say, hey, what's going on? I need some help.
So who's going to be the next guys coming up that's going to lead the way, where these guys they're getting older now, they're moving on?
Yes, there's some great ones. Delatoro McNeil II. Powerful speaker. Delatoro McNeil II. Simon Bailey.
Okay.
Walter Bond.
Now, do you mentor some of these people?
I mentor all of them.
Okay.
And all of them came to me as wanting to be speakers. They weren't in the speaking industry. Simon worked for Disney. Walter Bond had played for the NBA. Delatoro was a student at University of Central Florida, UCF. And he all said, I wanted you to help me. And I helped each one of them to become speakers. Now, Delatoro, the youngest CSP, Certified Speaking Professional in America. Simon and Walter both were inducted into Speaker Hall of Fame, and I was able to give the induction speech or introduce them, all from nothing. So, I'm very grateful and proud of them because they've done great. But again, they made a decision to get coaching. They made a decision to get mentoring. They made a decision to invest in themselves. You said something. LeBron James spent $1.5 million. He didn't spend it. He invested it. Okay? He didn't spend he invested $1.5 million in coaching. The great ones invest in themselves. They pour into themselves. They don't frivolously spend money without getting good, wise coaching and mentoring, and then they invest that money in themselves. Benjamin Franklin said that, well, I tell you what, Jim Rohn. Now, here's a great Jim Rohn quote. If you ever go into a $10 million home, it always has a library. Now, the person who bought that $10 million home, did they buy it because it had a library, or the library allowed them to buy it? The library. Benjamin Franklin said, the pennies you pour in your head the pennies you invest in your head and your thinking will produce dollars you can invest and pour into your bank account.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm encouraging people. So let me give people something to be a blessing to them. If they will go to wjspeaks.com/success, wjspeaks.com/success, they can get a digital package that they can download immediately. All my books, videos, DVDs, some stuff that great price. Or they can say, you know what, I want physical books. They can order my book, a bag of books, my books, and a DVD from the $1 Million Roundtable. We'll send it to them. Or for those who are really serious and are all in, they can get my box, the Willie Jolly Wow box. All my resources, over 30 years worth of resources that change people's lives in a big old box. Audio books, CDs, DVDs, books. I mean, all sorts of resources that will bless them. So, wjspeaks.com/success. It'll change their lives.
And what's the essence of this book, turning setback into greenback? I love that title.
Yeah, that's a great book. That's the essence of the book, where those 7 principles I gave you. Don't panic. Don't willingly participate. Don't commiserate. Don't let your pride poison your prosperity. Those come right out of that book. And that was the essence. Is that book was taken from my Sirius XM show guests, the people I interviewed on Sirius XM, who went from being broke and busted and disgusted to becoming millionaires and billionaires. And every time I'd interview them, I'd say, what did you do? They'd give me principles. And when I called all those interviews together, those were the 7 steps that they all talked about, using different names, but they were: don't panic, don't willingly participate in gloom and doom, don't commiserate, don't let your pride poison your prosperity, don't stop thinking about the power of tomorrow, be proactive, be creative, and be prayerful. Go to work.
Okay, so pretty much, like I said earlier, we agreed that Willie Jolly has had an amazing life. What can happen now that would just totally blow your mind? Some kind of what could happen for you now that would just totally, like, this is beyond my belief? Is anything like that could happen for you right now? Yeah, like man, I can't believe this is happening.
Well, the only thing that I would not be able to believe that was happening to me is that I won a Tony Award. Now, I've set a goal for a Grammy Award, so I can believe that's going to happen. I've set a goal for Emmy Award. I'm going to be doing television. That's not the next big goal. So I got a Grammy, an Emmy, and an Oscar, because some of my music is going to be on Oscar. But I had no idea about a Tony. That would be out of the realm of possibility for me, because I'm not on Broadway. But, there's such a thing called an EGOT. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. And John Legend is an EGOT winner. Whoopi Goldberg's an EGOT winner. I'd like to be an EGOT, but I had never set a goal for that. I set a goal for a Grammy. I set a goal for Emmy. So I got goals. And if you were able to look in my office, Ricky, you'd see my plane over. I can see it right from where I got a picture of a plane. So if I get my plane and I'm flying around to all my events via my plane, I said, well, I set a goal for that. Okay, I set a goal for some of these things. But if I want a Tony, what? I ain't even on Broadway. That meant I had to be on Broadway. How did that happen? I don't know. But I'm open to that.
Yeah. A lot of people say you remind them of Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh man, you're so kind.
Don't a lot of people say that? Don't you get that? You don't get that?
I get that every now and then. And I was actually in Atlanta and had the opportunity to be at an event with Sugar Ray Leonard's nephew. And it was amazing that I was able to be with him and have some time with him, and we talked and had a great time together.
Okay. Okay. So let me tell you, if I had a wish, if someone gave me if a genie came down and said, "Hey Rick, I want to give you a wish. What wish do you want?" I would want to go around my city, country, different cities, DC, and just do fun, motivational success parties. That's it. Having
Wow.
fun. Yeah, working out, physical fitness, music, dancing, motivational speakers, upliftment, like a motivational party. That's what I would want to do. So if you know any millionaires or billionaires need to invest some money, I got a good
I tell
idea.
them they got to talk to Ricky.
Yeah, and I would say, "What's in your hand?"
Come on now.
And then, I tell people about, Benjamin E. Mays. When I tell you a story, I tell about Benjamin E. Mays. One day I was walking in New York, 6th Avenue near the Hilton Hotel. So I seen this young man walking with this like banner that said Morehouse University. So I look, he's walking, I'm walking. So I start saying the poem. I only have a minute, 60 seconds in. As I'm going through it, he caught me wherever the part I was in and finished it with me. Because I had heard that everyone had to know that poem from that school.
That's right.
And I was like, oh wow, he really he know it. Bam. So and I love that poem, man. Love it.
Man, God bless you, man. God bless
So
you.
so thank
God
you
bless
for
you.
everything that you do, man, and the difference that you make. From being we didn't get into the whole story about how you started out as a singer, but you got it. Like I said, you should do a movie, man. The
Well,
Comeback
man,
Kid.
bless your heart, man. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you, man.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, and I just want you to know that the best is yet to come. The best is
Oh,
yet to come, and
we didn't talk about that story, but we'll save that for another time.
We'll do that.
We'll
So,
say,
look, I want to encourage everybody to go to winwithwillie.com. I want everybody to watch that video because it will inspire them, and then send it out to everybody they know. Everybody
all
they
right,
know. Everybody. Because we want to inspire people through this tough moment that we'll get through this. And
that's
then I
right.
want to encourage everybody to go to wjspeaks.com/success.
All right, all right.
wjspeaks.com/success and get some of the resources that we have there.
Beautiful, beautiful.
All right.
Thank you, man.
God
Thank you
bless
for
you,
being
Ricky
a
Young.
champion. Thank you for
You the
being a
champion.
champion.
You the man, Ricky. Keep knocking them
All
out,
right,
baby. All
all
right.
right. Talk to you
God
soon.
bless you. Bye-bye.
All right, peace. All right.
This is GHCR.NYC, 95.9 FM on your dial. And you just got through listening to an interview with Rick Motivational Young and Mr. Willie Jolly, Dr. Willie Jolly. And so stay tuned. Again, this is GHCR.NYC. Stay tuned for further updates. Thank you much.